Randy Ferguson is here, everybody. One of our guiding quotes is by Randy Ferguson, and so that's my dream, Randy, is that you draw your own quote. He's right over there. Oh, hello. We're broadcasting online too, so I'm waiting to make sure we're online before we greet everybody and say hello. We are. Hey, everyone, welcome to our 2024 intention setting. We're calling it Creative Purpose today. How's everyone doing? How many of you are bright-eyed and bushy-tailed this morning? Right. How many of you are groggy and possibly hungover? I was thinking of creating two different sections because bright-eyed and bushy-tailed does not mix with groggy and possibly hungover. So we were going to create two teams, but it sounds like mostly everyone's bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. How about you online? That may be you. I hope you're enjoying your Bloody Mary and our intention setting today. I am so grateful to be with you here. I'll tell you even more about why that is in a minute. But to begin, I'm so grateful to have Barbara Barton here. Not only is she one of our practitioners in training, she's been a part of these workshops for a while and was part of a group, and she's said yes to saying an opening blessing for us. So thank you so much, Barbara.
As long as margaritas are going to be served in the afternoon. Well,
Searching out my salt, shaker and salt. Yeah, we can just go.
We will try. As we take a deep breath and we center ourselves in our heart, we realize that there's a purpose, a high purpose for us to be in this room today. We relish the energy and the focus that Reverend Josh is going to give us. We know that we've been waiting for this. And
there we go.
As we continue to wait with microphones that work, we will say that there is nothing that wasn't meant to be. The new thoughts that are going to come in your mind, just inspiring your creativity and inspiration for this next year, start in this room and right now. We are so blessed. We thank God, we thank Spirit, we thank that soul that is sitting next to you or close to you. There are no accidents. Let's have a blessed morning, and I wish all of you miracles to come.
Beautiful. That deserves a round of applause. I'm so grateful for that. It's not easy to get up here and pray in front of God and everybody, so we're really grateful for that. Again, welcome everyone, those who are walking in right now, those who are watching us online. This is my absolute favorite thing to do here each year, so I'm really glad that you're here, but I would do it if no one was here anyways. This intention setting, and part of the reason that is that for me, this New Year's Day and this spirit of intention setting and clarifying what it is that we want and making a commitment to create it in our lives is the holiday that's most reflective of what our teaching here is really about. And so if you're not familiar with our teaching, that's totally fine. This is an intention setting, resolution setting. This is what I want, clarifying session. But at a spiritual level, this is about recognizing that there's something that we might call a creative mind all around us. Some of us call it spirit, some of us call it God, some of us call it capital L, life, or the universe. But it's this idea that we live in a creative intelligence, and that our living isn't just about free will, where we control everything that happens in our lives, nor is it all predestiny, where everything is decided for us. But we believe in our teaching that we co-create our life with an infinite intelligence. And so thus, what we're going to be doing today is very reflective in our philosophy, but I'm going to invite you to consider three things for yourself this year that has to do with this idea of co-creating your life with an infinite intelligence. The first thing is to be willing to clarify what you want for yourself, to clarify it to life, and to clarify it to people that you care about. And if you're on the slides, I think this is slide 2 where it talks about this, so that you watching online can see it. You know, sometimes our intentions, our wants and desires can become secrets. Does that make sense? That sometimes we don't even admit what we want to ourselves. We think we know, we get urges or ideas, but we never sit down to pay the damn attention that it's going to take to allow what we really want to come through. And so what I'm really inviting you to do, not just today, but this year, is to listen to yourself, to listen to your life, and to clarify those intentions that most matter to you. In a way, what we're going to be doing is admitting the secrets. By saying them out loud, by writing them down, by being willing to share them with someone else, it helps us set that creative medium into action. The second thing I'm inviting you to do today and this year is to live in a greater degree of trust that there is an intelligence greater than you are that's working on this stuff with you. That you don't have to do it all yourself. That we can actually admit, and you can repeat after me if you want, I am not in control. Doesn't that feel freaking good to say? Oh, terrifying to some of us. But that's what I'm inviting you to do, is to take less control this year and to live in greater trust. Because when I'm living in trust, I'm energized, I'm excited, I'm fulfilled. When I'm living under the illusion of control, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, and I'm blaming everyone else but myself for not getting what I want. Lastly, I really invite you to step into the idea that your intentions are not just something you're setting today and then putting away and looking at on December 31st, 2024. There's something that they're alive. There's something that you're going to have a relationship with, that you're going to interact with consciously or unconsciously every day. And so even though I'm inviting you to give up control and be in trust, I'm inviting you to clarify and to get to know these intentions intimately, to be aware and conscious of their presence in your life every day, and to give them the nurturing that they need, just like any relationship we have needs to grow. So are you open to doing those things? So in the spirit of just being aware of a higher intelligence than our own that's all around us and within us, I always like to begin these workshops by inviting everyone to have a guiding quote. And if you're watching online, if you go to the page that you're probably watching this on, there are two worksheets that you'll need for this workshop today. One is our intention worksheet that we'll look at later, but the other is the guiding quote. So if you're here, you're about to draw a quote, but all the quotes are on a sheet there if you want to pick one for yourself. Now, everyone here, this is part of the ritual, so you will be standing up, coming up here, and we have two bowls, and in these bowls is a magical guiding quote that the divine intelligence in the universe has chosen exactly for you. And so I invite you to be like a little kid about this. So you come up here and you close your eyes and you put your hand in and you just know you're going to get the right one and you draw it. And if you're feeling particularly powerful today, I invite you to come up here because I want some of you to read your quotes. Some are double, so we don't want to repeat those. But I got Marjorie Holmes. Barry read this during our candlelight service. Oh God, give me grace for this day, not for a lifetime, not for a week, not for tomorrow, just for this day. Direct my thoughts and bless them. Direct my work and bless it. Direct the things I say and give them blessing too. Direct and bless everything that I think and speak and do, so that for this one day, just this one day, I have the gift of grace that comes from your presence. Well, I'm grateful to draw that one. See, they're deep. And some are simple, and some of you are like, I ain't reading this. This is way too long, which is just fine. You can just take your quote and go back to your seat. But for some of you, I'd love for you to come up and read them. And so, again, two sides here. Come get your quote and go back to your seat, or come up to me and share it with God and everybody. Casey, are you willing to share one? Come on up. Yeah, here, come on. You can go.
Go ahead and do it now?
Yeah.
Okay, here's one that I have. We move an idea up the ladder of greater believing by taking it to the core of ourselves and actually becoming it. Roger Teel.
Oops, make sure I got my glasses.
Yeah, take your time.
If we magnified blessings as much as we magnify disappointments, we would all be much happier. John Wooden.
I have decided to love. If you are seeking in the highest good, I think you can find it through love. And the beautiful thing is that we are moving against wrong when we do it. Because John was right. God is love. He who hates does not know God, but he who has love has the key that unlocks the door to the meaning of the ultimate reality. Martin Luther King.
It doesn't matter what did or did not happen then. It only matters what happens now. Sherry Huber.
Keep your mind open and free to receive that lesson which fits your own disposition best. Emma Curtis Hopkins.
Ernest Holmes said, above all things, we must know definitely and consistently that the universe is for us and not against us.
Bishop Desmond Tutu, do your little bit of good where you are. It's those little bits of good put together that overwhelm the world.
You do not need to know precisely what is happening or exactly where it is all going. What you need is to recognize the possibilities and challenges offered by the present moment and to embrace them with courage, faith, and hope. Thomas Merton.
I am only one, but I am one. I can't do everything, but I can do something. What I can do, I ought to do. What I ought to do, by the grace of God, I will do.
To accomplish excellence or anything outstanding, you must listen to that whisper, which is heard by you alone. Emerson.
Be content with what you have. Rejoice in the way things are. When you realize nothing is lacking, the whole world belongs to you. The Tao Te Ching.
If you will take time daily to sense the presence of life within you, to believe in it, to accept it, it will not be long before the life with which you have known will gradually disappear and something new will be born, a bigger, better, and more perfect you. Ernest Holmes.
And perfect to follow that is knowing that the spirit within me is free. I am no longer bound by the patterns of yesterday.
Every decision you make is not a decision about what to do. It's a decision about who you are. Neil Donald Walsh.
Don't be shy. Just get in there. Get in there. Will you read yours, Charlie? You open to it. Thanks.
Love should come first. It should be the beginning of and the reason for everything. Gerald May.
Our deepest calling is to grow into our authentic selfhood, whether or not it conforms to some image of who we ought to be. As we do so, we will not only find joy that every human being seeks, we will also find our path of authentic service in the world. Parker Palmer.
Just as you would not neglect the seeds that you planted with hope that they will bear vegetables and fruits and flowers, so you must attend to nourish the garden of your becoming. Jean Houston.
You are precisely as big as what you love and precisely as small as what you allow to annoy you. Robert Anton Wilson.
Isn't that the truth? All the quotes are available online, but go ahead. Go ahead. That's fine.
Okay, you are precisely as big as what you love and precisely as small as what you allow to annoy you. Robert Anton Wilson.
Knowing that the spirit within me is free, I'm no longer bound by the patterns of yesterday. Ernest Holmes.
If you have correctly identified what really matters, if you invest your time and energy into it, then it is difficult to regret the choices you make. You become proud of the life you have chosen to live. Greg McKean.
Success is peace of mind that is the direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing you did your best to become the best that you are capable of becoming. John Wooden.
Above all things, we must know definitely and consistently that the universe is for us and not against us. Ernest Holmes.
The highest form of human intelligence is to observe yourself without judgment. I can't say that name.
Thank you. That's by Krishnamurti. He was a cool guy.
Finish each day and be done with it. You have done what you could. Some blunders and absurdities no doubt crept in. Forget them as soon as you can. Tomorrow is a new day. You shall begin it serenely and with too high a spirit to be encumbered with your old nonsense. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Hey, that one sounds familiar.
Believe in the love that is being stored up for you like an inheritance, and have faith that in this love there is a strength and a blessing so large that you can travel as far as you wish without having to step outside it. Rainier Maria Rilke.
Thank you. We're just going to do one more reading so that we can do the rest of our workshop, but go ahead.
Oh God, give me grace for this day, not for a lifetime, nor for next week, nor for tomorrow, just for this day. Direct my thoughts and bless them. Direct my work and bless it. Direct the things I say and give them blessing too. Direct and bless everything that I think and speak, and do so that for this one day, just this one day, I have the gift of grace that comes from your presence. Marjorie Holmes.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Isn't it great to kind of fill the room with some wisdom? I always like to begin classes and things with quotes because, one, you sound smart, no matter what you say, and it gets most people's voices in the room, too, which is wonderful. And so I hope the quote that you choose for yourself, and, that's the rule in our teaching. If you don't like your quote, throw it away. Grab another one. But I hope that there's this conversation with this intuitive part of you that may have drawn that quote to provide you some wisdom to be there for you throughout the year. We're about to move into a time of envisioning, kind of a meditative process to kind of tune into our inner wisdom, to get some information that will help us set some powerful intentions for 2024. But before we do that, I want to share a quote from Ernest Holmes and his definition of life, which I think will serve us in what we're about to do in starting it. He shares that life is infinite possibility coupled with limitless creative imagination. Infinite energy coupled with limitless creative imagination. And so for me, that infinite energy we can call spirit, we can call it creative mind, yet it's everywhere. It's something that's ever present. And this thing, this limitless creative imagination, this is where we get to participate with that infinite energy. And so what I'm inviting you into today is to recognize that by using your own limitless creative imagination, that you can bring forth the infinite potential and possibility for your life. And so I invite you, if you choose, to close your eyes with me, although you will want something to write with and on for this process, to just be aware of what infinite energy and possibility means to you. What is it to be conscious that you are related to something infinite? That what animates all of life is this beautiful thing we call soul, this essence, this limitless creativity, this limitless wisdom, this limitless abundance, this unlimited love. that it's something ever present and everywhere, and we have the opportunity right here and right now to utilize our creative imagination to imagine how this potentiality, this possibility, this energy can show up in our lives in 2024. So tuning in to that limitless energy within you, listening to the soul of our own being, I just invite you to ask your inner wisdom how it can best express in your life this year. Infinite Spirit, how do you want to show up in my life in 2024? Nothing may come up for you, an image, a series of words, just a feeling, just an energy, a possibility may come forward for you. And what we're going to do right now is to focus on 3 different key areas of life to ask a similar question. And we'll have a few minutes for each of these. And the first we're going to focus on this morning is well-being. And just tuning into that limitless creative imagination, I invite us to ask ourselves, how can I imagine my well-being best expressing itself in 2024? How can I best imagine my well-being expressing itself in 2024? And again, we're participating with intelligence, and it may show up as an image of being in outer space somewhere on a hammock. Or it may be something really specific, like the amount that you want to weigh or exercise every day. However this creative imagination shows up for you, don't block it, don't stop it. Just allow it to come forward and just write without any judgment. You don't have to share this with anybody later. How can I best imagine my well-being expressing itself in 2024? I also invite you to ask yourself if there is a statement that best expresses how you want to experience well-being in 2024. If there's a statement, a couple words, an affirmation. If there is, just write it down. I have one. It is, I am thriving, healthy, and prosperous. I am thriving, healthy, and prosperous. What might it be for you? You can do the divine ditto. You are absolutely welcome to. And what we're engaging in right now is one of the most important things we can do that most of us forget on a regular basis, and that is to simply listen to your life. Listen to it. That's all we're doing right now, is listening to our life. And one of the most wonderful things that happens is our life already knows what it is that we want. It already knows that which we need. And yet, through the busyness of our lives and through sometimes the superficial illusion that we're in control, can keep us from simply listening to what life wants us to know. And so I want us to be aware of that as we move into this next section, this next question that's around relationship. That oh so important area of relationship with our life, in our lives, with loved ones, with ourselves, with co-workers, with people in the world. And I just invite us to ask ourselves, what is my greatest imagination about how I want to experience relationship in 2024? What is my grandest imagination of how I want to experience relationship in 2024? Again, it may be a feeling, it may be specific people, it may be a change in yourself that you know has been coming to better support yourself and support others. Just allow whatever comes forward to come forward and do your best to write something down. And again as well, just ask yourself if there is a statement or an affirmation that reflects how you want to experience relationship this year. Is there a statement or an affirmation that reflects how you want to experience relationship this year? I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, doggone it, people like me. Mine is, when I meet my own needs, others' needs are met. When I meet my own needs, others' needs are met. But it doesn't need to be as cryptic as that. Another one for me is, I am deeply loving and profoundly loved. I am deeply loving and profoundly loved. One of the greatest gifts we can give to ourselves is just to listen to ourselves. For a lot of us, sometimes our fast way of thinking is simply a defense mechanism against listening to ourselves, because we know just below the surface there are deep emotions. Sometimes there's self-criticisms and judgments and worries. And I know it's hard to allow those to come up, but what I promise you is if you keep going deeper in listening, there are divine secrets about yourself as well. There are jewels down there that want to express to you and remind you of the truth of who you are, of why you're really here, and of what can be becoming if you better embrace and embody that truth of who you are and the truth of life. So it's in that spirit that we move into our last area, which is success. For some of us, success sounds like making work go. For some of us, it sounds like enjoying each day or what we do for adventure. So you get to define what that means for you. But I invite you to ask that limitless creative imagination within you, how can I best imagine experiencing success in 2024? How can I best imagine experiencing success in 2024? And just one more time as well, I just invite you to ask yourself if there is a statement or a creative affirmation that comes forward about how you want to experience success in 2024. Is there a statement or an affirmation about how you want to see success take place in your life in 2024? Creativity is at the center of my life, and the rest takes care of itself. I do my best every day and need do nothing more. I let go and let God, just whatever comes forward for you. I am a total badass. Have fun, be creative. So we're just going to take 60 more seconds just to be aware of that inner creative imagination, just to see if it has anything else that it wants you to hear or know or to write down right now. And we'll be moving from this more experiential imagination vision place here in a moment to the more pragmatic listing of intentions momentarily. Thank you for that. You can always come back to this. In fact, if you do this once a week or once a month, it will improve your life immensely. Just that act of listening and articulating what that creative imagination within us wants to say. So we're going to move into setting some intentions, but some tips or perhaps even warnings to you before we do set some of those intentions. Because there's a shadow side to all this New Year's resolution stuff, right? It can actually be quite dangerous if we wind up setting our intentions, which I'm warning you against, from a place of self-rejection. You're either going to set your intentions from a place of self-acceptance, self-expression, this is how I want to experience my life, or from thinking that you're a rotten piece of shit who's unworthy and is never going to be good enough. You know what I'm talking about? And so if you set your intentions from a place of inner wholeness and wanting to express yourself more healthy and holy, you're going to lead yourself to an experience of that no matter what. Trick about all of this stuff. If you're setting your intentions from a place of self-rejection, guess what? It doesn't matter even if you accomplish your goal, you're going to wind up right there at self-rejection. You remember Alice in Wonderland, and she approaches the Cheshire Cat, and she says, "Which way am I supposed to go?" And he says, "Well, where do you want to go?" And she says, "I don't quite know where I want to go." And he says, "Well, then don't worry, anywhere will get you there." And so there's something about that in our lives, but if we do know where we want to go, in terms of our wholeness and loving ourselves and being happy in relationships, we're going to also get there no matter what path we take. And so remember that with our intentions, to set them from a place of caring for yourself, not berating or beating up on yourself. Second, realizing your intentions is going to be about practice and not self-punishment. So we're not here for self-flagellation and punishing ourselves each day. I like that word discipline, but we can take it the wrong way. This is about practice. Charlotte Joko Beck, a great teacher of Buddhism, she says, all we do is our best over and over. That's all you can ask yourself to do. And part of the things about setting our intentions is we don't want them to be so specific that we blind ourselves to even something greater happening in our lives. Lastly, when it comes to the game of life, your yeses are your offense and your nos are your defense. And so you will be setting intentions here momentarily. Some will be very affirmative. I'm saying yes to eating healthy. I'm saying yes to writing my book. I'm saying yes to improving my marriage. Some may sound negative at first, but they're no related. And they're really important because our yeses help us move towards our success, but our nos are built best when they're there to protect our yeses. So I'm going to take care of myself before I say yes to someone else's request. I'm going to say no to working more than 40 hours a week. That's all I have because I have these other goals. So remember these things as we write our intentions. And everyone, when you got in, or it's online as well, there is our intention worksheet for the day. The first section here, you can take your quote and paste it right there. For those in the room, we did use a kind of cardstock today. Put your quote somewhere cool where you can see or remind yourself of it. But that's what this first section is for. And then we're going to take 5 minutes for each of these areas, and we're going to start with well-being. And you can utilize the envisioning and the notes that you made for this. You may just throw that away because it didn't work well for you and start again. And what I'm inviting you to do is to write 3 intentions for your well-being. You'll see that it just says 1 or 2. That's intentional to let you know that mistakes are really cool and really important to shaping up our lives. But what you can write more than 3 intentions too, but I'm going to invite you to take 5 minutes in light of what we've just talked about to write some intentions for well-being. And if you have one, a creative affirmation for expressing and co-creating that well-being this year, something that you might go back to over and over again to help bring forth the energy that you want to approach well-being with this year. So we're going to take 5 minutes starting right now. Okay, 1 more minute. How's everyone doing? Pretty good? Are you impressed at how darn efficient you are? There's something about time limits by then, so I hope that no one's feeling rushed, but there is a magic of saying, I'm going to take 3 minutes and I'm going to write down what I want, because if you give yourself too much time, you'll get lost. Like I said at the beginning, I invite us to think that of our intentions this year, not that we're setting them so much, but we're admitting them. I'm going to admit to myself what my intentions are and to live them with greater clarity so that they don't come out all confused. And so part of that today, I'm going to invite some of us to share what some of our intentions are. Because for a lot of us, it's kind of like telling a secret. We're afraid to admit it. Who am I to think that I can have that? Right? I'm not good enough to have that, or I don't want so-and-so to know that. Well, we have to get rid of all that, and we have to start being willing to admit our divine secrets to ourselves and to share them with others, with the only consequence being that we may have to hold ourselves accountable, to achieving that or something like it. And so I hope this is a trusted space. Don't share your intentions with people you don't trust, and it's okay to not trust, by the way, but we should always want to be building trust. So is there anyone who's willing to share with me and with everybody some intentions that came up for them? All right, this is my other favorite thing I get to play. I'm not sure if I'm Sally, Jesse, Raphael, or Donahue, but maybe a combination of both.
Thanks, Josh.
Carrie.
My name's Carrie. I'm good here, right? I don't
Yeah,
have to stand? Good.
yeah.
Okay, I like this one because it makes me laugh. My body is a temple, and I choose to care for my temple by adorning it with jewels and beautiful greenery instead of weeds and trash.
I love it. I love it. See, for some of us, the intentions are going to be very specific. For some, what a broad, wonderful, creative thing to share on a regular basis. Was there someone here? Kim.
Mine's a little more straightforward. But I wrote that my well-being is important and matters. I will care for myself so that all aspects of my life will be lifted in joy.
Wonderful, wonderful. So good, broad creativity here versus specificity. They're both okay. If whoever's on the slides, I think mine is up there. We can show that too as an example if it helps anybody. So I had a specific one, 200 pounds. I always get close, but not quite there on the upper side of that. And so I want to have that intention of regular exercise and healthy consuming, which means stop drinking so much beer, Josh. Two, and this is a theme you'll see in my worksheet. I am meeting my own needs before those of others. There's a part of me that feels terribly selfish in saying that, but I'm learning more and more that when I do that, it helps me care for the people I love better. And lastly, my self-care leads to creative excellence. When I take care of myself, I'm actually able to do a better job versus sacrificing myself for work or hard labor. So those are mine. Anyone else? A couple more? The big dog.
Hi, this is Ron. I just wrote them down in not a small one, but just little tidbits here. Get more sleep on a daily basis, and I clarified it was 7 hours. And when I don't get sleep, it affects my whole life. Eating healthier and to work with my wife on getting together and to plan meals and not just be happenstance. Drink more water. Water's gold. Move outside and walk. Move. Less moving, more moving, less sitting. To love myself, knowing that it is the basis for me to love others. To be grateful for everything each day and then let it go. To laugh and embrace humor. Don't be so damn serious. To be of service to family and others. Give back. When you give back, that makes you a much more whole person.
We could just create a book of those Ronisms. Linda, we should do another intention where we set our intentions for our partners. Wouldn't that be great? And just did it and then say, here you go. Thanks for your sharing, everybody. That's wonderful. Are there any questions or concerns? Everyone got some things down there? I love Ron's list, but don't have so many intentions that you're not going to remember any of them, right? There's a term too of, scatter shooting. You ever hear that? if you, it's probably not the best analogy for these days and times, but that idea, if you're just going all over the place and you don't have, and not that you were all over the place, Ron, but if you want to keep as specific and grounded as possible. And so you can have as many intentions as you want, but you want to be able to remember them, be able to repeat them. And as we'll get into later, we'll want to learn places where we can anchor them in our everyday life. And so we're going to move now into 5 minutes for relationship. All of our favorite topics. Everyone's like, oh gosh, grown. So we're going to set 5 intentions. They could be for relationships you have, relationships that you're calling forth, changes in relationship, changes in how you're choosing to relate to others. And so 5 minutes to write at least 3 intentions for relationship, and if you have one, a creative affirmation for relationship. One more minute. Everybody doing okay? Got some intentions down? All right. Let's share again. Let's see what am I going to be doing this year? If we have that slide. So some intentions that I have. So I take regular time to connect with those I love with a special focus on quality time. I communicate what is going on with me with clarity and authenticity. So one of my affirmations this year is, Josh, it's not a problem to bring up a problem in my relationships. I have a big problem with that. And so working on that's the next step for me. And then I am meeting my own needs and not depending on others to meet them. And so when I'm in that victim-y place and blaming someone else for not getting what I want, I'm going to stop and ask myself, how can I meet my own needs right now? And if I can, I'll ask for help. But if I can, I'm going to do just that and do a better job of that. Who else has some? Maybe folks who haven't shared yet. Yeah, thank you.
Mine is, I choose my time with people who bring out the best in me and who appreciate my authentic self, and be that person to others as well. Be present with my loved ones and learn to see the divine light in them. And then my last one is make memories, initiate plans and experiences, and become closer with my parents.
Those are wonderful, very powerful, very expressive of who you are too. Hey, sweetheart.
So I wrote, as I open my heart and love myself, new levels of depth and connection bloom in motherhood, partnership, and friendship. I enjoy flexibility, relaxation, and humor in all my relationships.
Oh, Juniper liked that last part. I love that. That was so powerful. That was a prayer. Anybody else? Maybe one more person. All right. Yeah, we'll have Randy.
Okay. I will see the sacred essence in others, communing with them from this place. And I will walk the Camino de Santiago, experiencing my loving relationship with God. And one more. I will be the kind of man that a really good woman would be proud to share her life with.
Oh, will you read that last one more time? That was so good.
Oh. It's just, I've always, been asking for relationship, and then it occurred to me, maybe I need to be the kind of person that would attract the kind of being I want. So it says, I will be the kind of man that a really good woman would be proud to share her life with. Okay, and I got one more quick.
Yes, but just if you don't mind me saying, you are that man. But yes, go ahead. One more. Go ahead.
Thank you. Oh, these words just came to me. Relationship is the dance, spirit is the music.
Oh, I love that. We're going to figure out a way to use that later as we wrap up. One more here. Go ahead, Marcelo.
Not sure I did this right, but I wrote 3 things about relationships and then an affirmation.
Okay.
Relationships are the divine's way to connect with us, as the divine is everything. Relationships help us feel more alive as cells in the body of all humanity. Relationships give us a mirror and a model for dealing with the challenges of our own lives. Each day I will open myself up to more relationships with others.
I love that. Relationships are divine reflections, and yet, nothing like a relationship to press every button we've ever had and reveal buttons we never knew that we had. And so they're amazing things. So that's great. So we're going to move to our last area now and spend 5 minutes on success. So writing any intentions that come up for us around success. For some of us, that looks like achievement. For some of us, that looks like having fun. So find your own place on the poles of that scale. And if you have a creative affirmation, go for it too. One more minute. All right, everybody got some? Good, a couple people still working. I want to take a quick moment and thank you so much, Rocio, for creating this beautiful New Year's altar for us. Isn't that fantastic? Doing it in style, thank you. So, well, I know some of you are still writing, but we have some time for just a couple people to share. So we want to share what they got. Hey, Jackie.
Getting used to loving my new life as a semi-retired. I do my best every day to let go and let God. I am in total badass.
Oh, good, good. I heard that somewhere. I love it. I love it. You are a total badass.
I believe that God is there for you when you raise your life up to Him. You will receive all you have done.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Anybody else? One more. Oh, thank you.
Clear communication of unconditional limitless, infinite love, and always recognizing today I learned.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. All right, thanks for that, everybody. There's one more piece, and then there's some homework for you today. And if you turn to the, oh wait, let me share mine if that helps anybody. If there's a slide of my success goals. I want each key area of Mile High Church where I work to be thriving and to let growth be a byproduct of that. I'm a successful writer, so I always write all the time, but I always tell myself I can't be successful at it, and I'd like to change that. And then my meeting my own needs inspires others. So there's that theme again. So the last sheet on here is something I'm going to invite you to do. We're only going to use one intention right now, but I'm going to invite you to do one for every core intention that you have. And so on the website, you'll see that you can download as many of these as you want. If you're here in the room, there's probably extras on your way out. But if you're really taking an intention seriously, this will really help you anchor it in your life, because it's wonderful to have a broad, sweeping intention. That's that affirmative statement. It's another to bring it into your everyday activities in life. And so what you're invited to do here, and we'll just take a few minutes to do it, is to write down a core intention. And you don't have to get all 10. This is more brainstorming. But you're going to talk about what are daily behaviors I can do towards achieving this intention. And if mine is in the slides, can you put that up? Because that might help a little bit. So, I have that big theme of I am meeting my own needs. And so what I want you to write down are behaviors you can do every day towards this intention. But here's the key. You're not committing to them yet. So notice I wrote down morning spiritual practice, exercise. Before saying yes, I will check in with my own needs. Are you okay? Good rest, writing every day, reading, connecting with friends, ask for what I want, admitting when I'm having a problem, evening ritual. Now, I think I can do all those things, but notice when I was done, I underlined the ones that I am committed to doing, right, for every day throughout the whole year. And then the next section is on weekly or monthly behaviors, because that's one of the great things with intentions. There's what can I do every day, and then how can I pause once a week or once a month and do something as well. Is there a slide for that one? Monthly intention check-in, affirmations practice, quality time, work on my book, you can see the rest there, and you see that I chose to underline some that I'm committed to doing to help me with that. And so you can see, you may have 3 core intentions, but you may have 30 things, each week or each month that you do towards achieving them. And I don't mean this to be overwhelming. I think this can actually be really simple and helpful. So we're just going to go ahead and take about 4 minutes or so to give that a shot on one of your intentions. Give 1 more minute for this. I know some people are still writing, but is there anyone who's willing to share an intention they chose and the daily things that you're willing to do that you underlined. Thank you. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry.
My core intention, I'm Karis. My core intention is the universe provides all I need as I spread comfort and joy through my senior snuggles business. My daily behaviors are good inputs, reading, meditation, and prayer, reaching out in income-producing activities, writing on my offerings, making new friends every day, and share my excitement with 3 new contacts per day.
Oh my goodness. Very powerful. Thank you so much. Anybody else willing to share their core intention and what they're willing to do each day for it? Okay, now I'm Bob Barker.
Core intention, when I take care of myself, I show up better in the world. And a specific thing for well-being, regular bedtime and waking time, and every day. Music, music, music.
Excellent, excellent. Anyone willing to share their core intention and what they're willing to do weekly or monthly? Maybe just 1 or 2 of those. Casey, I'm coming.
My core intention is to see the divine in everyone. And for weekly and monthly, I wrote Sunday night visioning and visioning monthly.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Great. Anyone else? I'm not going to not go to my wife.
So my core intention is spiritual and physical discipline. I know that you don't like that word, but it showed up a lot. So I'm trying to hone in on like my David Byrne discipline with my creativity, but handwritten prayer. I just wanted to say it out loud because I realized when I wrote it, I hadn't written a prayer in maybe a very long time. I don't even remember how long ago. So handwritten prayer.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. So can you see the power of writing those core intentions and the daily and weekly things you're willing to do to achieve them? So, that's something as we're taking these really specific or even broad intentions. I want to have more quality time with my partner. We're going to do this weekly or monthly, to what you're going to do. What I'm going to argue, your practical intentions are really important, and I'm glad to hear in so many of the intentions these creative statements, these creative affirmations. So if you only left here today with creative affirmations and you said them every day, it'd be amazing at how they would express in your life. There's one more tool I have for you today, and you don't have to do it right now. It's these tiny habit recipe cards. And if you're watching online, you're going to have to Google this, but it does exist on the internet. And you can use these for building small habits towards getting what you want, but they're also great ways to use your creative affirmations. And if you came out of here today with 3 powerful creative affirmations, you're on your way to success if you can utilize and say them on a regular basis. But the first thing that you do is you find what B.J. Fogg in his Tiny Habits calls your anchor moments. And so these are things that you do every day that are habits that you don't even think about. Getting out of bed in the morning, brushing your teeth, getting the coffee ready at night for the next day, turning off your car. And what you do is you identify an anchor moment in your life, and then you're going to say what you're going to do. So after I brush my teeth, I will affirm I am thriving, healthy, and prosperous, right? Or as soon as I turn my car off when I get to work, I'm going to text my wife I love her, right? Because you're building that quality. And so you build these little habits or these responses to things that you already do in your life. Fogg talks about what he calls the Maui habit. If you were part of Mile High last year at New Year's, we talked about that. And his Maui habit is every day when I get out of bed and put my feet on the floor, I'm going to say, today is going to be a great day. What a great little habit. And so you can use these for as many of these intentions that you want. And then the last thing is something you can say to celebrate it. And I'll talk a little bit more about this later, but it's so important to celebrate your successes. And so it can be a little affirmation, like heck yeah, or Jackie, I am a badass. I did it. But it's something to congratulate yourself for accomplishing what you have. And what that does is it helps build momentum. So all of a sudden, these mountain climbing, pushing a boulder up the hill intentions that they feel like, all of a sudden start taking care of themselves. You start creating a flow, and you start really enjoying the life you're living. You know why? Because you realize I'm a co-creator of my life. I am co-creating. I am not unconscious. I'm not a victim of just stuff happening to me all the time. I'm taking conscious, creative control to trust in life and work with life towards the creation of my good. I have a couple closing points today, but are there any questions? If you're watching online and you want to share any of your intentions with me, I'm at jreeves@milehighchurch.org. I'd love to behold them with you so that you can share. Just a few last tips for achieving your intentions in 2024. Remember that as important as desire or will is the time it's going to take to accomplish your intention. It's wonderful that I have a desire to have quality time with my wife. At some point, I'm going to have to get up off of my butt and create that time with her, right? It's wonderful that I want to write a book, but if I can't understand and frame the time that it's going to take for me to write that book, I'm not going to be able to accomplish my goals. So consider that for your intentions. And if you're not giving yourself the time you need, you may be surprised at how little time you need. But if you're not giving yourself that time, you're setting yourself up for failure. And it's that aspect of how important is this to me, and what am I willing to take off my plate or to clear out so that I can achieve this goal. Second, as I just mentioned, celebrate your successes. I have really come to believe that as valuable as gratitude and appreciation is, which we really embrace in our faith, give thanks, so is celebration. I'll almost challenge you to say, if you don't celebrate your success, it didn't really happen. Or to put it another way, if you don't celebrate your successes, you don't really embody the success. You forget that you did. How many of us, someone came in, and I'm sorry, I can't point you out, and I don't want to break your confidence either, so impressed at how much they accomplished last year, almost with the energy of, I didn't realize I had done so well. Anyone have that experience? Or the opposite end of that? And what can happen is if you don't take time to reflect and to acknowledge what you've accomplished, everything just kind of whooshes by. And so take some time. I loved what April was saying about writing. Take some time to reflect and see how you're doing. And then lastly, it's easier to work for as opposed to against. And it's funny, I should have just put it this way because I'm going to put it another way. Every time you are saying no to something for your intentions, remind yourself what you're saying yes to, right? So I am saying no to the cupcake that looks so delicious in front of me. But the truth is, do you know how much I want that cupcake? I want it so bad, but my intention is my health. So what I'm really doing is I'm saying no to the cupcake because I'm saying yes to being healthy. And then that feels good to me as opposed to lying to myself, because the truth is I really want that cupcake. So that will really help you build boundaries. And as opposed to just saying, no, I have to stop doing that, what am I saying yes to? I'm saying no to the beer and yes to taking a run. I'm saying no to the toxic conversation and yes to journaling tonight about how I'm feeling. And so give yourself that yes, and what will happen is yes is almost, it's a choice in action. It's a kind of momentum. And so the more that you're saying yes towards what you want, not only are you accomplishing it, but you're creating that momentum with the universe that's going to help create the relationships and the opportunities to manifest and demonstrate it that much more. So are you feeling good? You feel you have some good tools? I really appreciate you being here today. This really is all for me, and so having you here is really cool. So if you got some benefit out of it, I think that's wonderful. For those who are here, and if you're willing to go a bit deeper, I'm really grateful. We have 3 practitioners doing workshops, and the 2 that are in person, do you mind coming up and just saying who you are and briefly what your workshop is? For those that are watching online, Lorelei Messi, I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong, Lorelei. First of all, she's like one of the coolest people in the world, so I don't even care what she's doing her workshop on. It's going to be awesome. There's the Zoom link right there on the webpage, and she's going to be taking us deeper into looking at our core intentions and how we can create practices that help us achieve them in our lives. So she's doing Creative Purpose 2.0 online. I'm really grateful as well to have Kelly Berry here, who's going to be doing an in-person workshop in the community center. So we'll end here at 11:30. We'll start around 11:45. There's snacks and stuff there. And she's doing something on bullet journaling.
So my workshop is bullet journaling for spiritual growth. And it's really up-leveling of journaling. How do you take these intentions that you've come up with today, these little micro habits that you want to create, meditate every day, work out 3 times a week, whatever it is, how do you take those to the next level? So we'll kind of do some journaling, but it's really artsy and crafty and creative. And it's letting you come up with what it is that you want to do.
Excellent. And Steve's going to be in the community center as well. Kelly's going to be in room D, which in the community center is the one where all the windows are. And Steve, when you walk in, will be just on your right, and you're doing a workshop taking us deeper into the creative process.
Taking us deeper into the creative process, looking at the yin and yang aspects, the inner and the outer aspects of the creative process, and also looking at where we might get stuck in those and some possible ways to kickstart ourselves to re-engage that process.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Steve. Looking forward to that. Thank you for attending. Just lastly, don't keep these intentions a secret, right? Don't bury them in a notebook and be afraid that they're out on a table. Find people that you trust. If you don't, you can email me. Utilize a practitioner here at Mile High Church to share it with them. Find someone else here, but have someone that you trust that you can share these intentions with, and perhaps follow up from time to time. Some of these intentions are guiding. So how you think they're supposed to show up now isn't how they're going to show up in the future. It may be this or something better. And so remember that as well, that it's not about achieving them to absolute specification. It's about opening up to experiencing them in your everyday life. So I'm so grateful. Yes, Kathy?
The first one you talked about, Creative Intention 2.0, are we able to access that?
Yes, you would just need to go online. So you could do that here on your phone. And so Lorelei, and I kind of titled that for her because I know she's taking us deeper into creative purpose. So you're welcome to go home really quick and go on to the Zoom link, which is right on the, if you're on our main website and there's a box that it says intention, it takes you to the page where the worksheets are, and that's where that is to go to. This is a love donation workshop. There's a link online. There's a bucket out there. If you didn't bring cash or something and want to give, you can go to that online link as well. And thanks so much for participating. My friend Kevin is here. He's also been a part. He's a wonderful practitioner here, and he's also been a part of these for a few years, and he's been willing to say a closing blessing for all of our intentions. May our wildest dreams come true.
Absolutely, right? First of all, before I do that, I'd like to thank you, Josh, for putting this presentation on. It's been an awesome experience. Thank you so much. And now will you turn within with me? And I'd like to ask you to focus your attention on your physical heart space, on that well of limitless energy. And in the energy of limitless imagination, and the knowing that this life always, always, always unfolds for our absolute highest and best, and the highest and best of all concerned. And in the recognition that every quote we Zen picked today was divinely ordained, and in the knowing that the words that we put on paper, our intentions, our behaviors, our initiatives, did not come from us, but they came through us. I affirm and I claim that these intentions and these behaviors become part of our everyday spiritual practice that I call life. And that in that sense, they are supportive of our purpose to be a beneficial presence here, as only we can. And knowing that this is truth, I say in the words of our beloved Dr. Roger Teel, I pronounce this good and very good. And together, we anchor this in truth by saying, and so it is.
Thank you, Kevin. Have an awesome 2024, everybody.